pandemic situation. We hope you can connect via phone or computer. That information is on the city's website. There's also on Channel 15 cable and the YouTube channel. Hopefully people are able to connect, and we'll be allowing people to speak by raising their hand. You can figure out how to do that on your computer. When we come to the point where we're having a participant from other attendees. So that's kind of the overview. We'll start with the roll call. I'll ask Karen Howard to take the roll.
Okay, good evening. Atkins?
Here.
Hartley?
Here.
Holst?
Here.
Larson?
Here.
Leeper. Brad is not on the meeting tonight. He won't be here tonight. Lynch?
Here.
Prideaux?
Here.
Saul?
Here.
Great. All right. Well, we have a relatively short agenda tonight, but we'll start with the first item would be the approval of the minutes from the Planning and Zoning Commission meeting of May 13th, 2020. Do we have a motion to do that?
So moved. Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor signify by aye.
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 Aye. That motion carries. At this point, if there's anybody on the line who would like to make a public comment that addresses anything that is not on our regular agenda tonight, I would invite you to raise your hand. See, we only have 2 attendees showing up right now. And seeing none, we'll move on from public comments. We have one item tonight of old business, and that is the rezoning from R1 and A1 to RP planned residential for the West Fork development. And Karen, I assume you're going to introduce that for us tonight.
Yes, and I'll share the screen again here.
Okay.
All right. Can people see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I'll go ahead and start the presentation here. All right. As Marty said, this is a rezoning request. This is a location map. This is located north of 27th Street and east of Union Road. The proposed rezoning is 120 acres. The northern 120 acres was rezoned in 2019 from ag to R1. The southern 57 acres is currently zoned ag, and the request is to rezone the entire 177 acres to planned residence district. The planned residence district allows for that flexibility in lot sizes and dimensional standards, but it has to submit a master plan to ensure that that neighborhood in the future develops in an orderly fashion with that good traffic circulation, open space, and other amenities for high quality living environment. And a lot of this I went through at your last meeting in quite some detail, and the staff report also goes into quite a bit of detail. So I'm just gonna review some of the highlights just in case someone is watching that didn't have a chance to watch the meeting last time. Just some of the highlights of what is in the proposed master plan submitted by the applicant. They're proposing to do a single family detached homes, a range of lot sizes from about 6,000 square feet up to about a half an acre, with most of the lots in that mid-size range. There are no other building types proposed in this planned development. And let me turn off my ringer on my phone there. The dimensional standards were discussed at your last meeting, so if anybody has any questions about those, they're similar to the requirements that are in our R4 zoning residence district. A couple other things to note is that the double ferning lots located along Union Road, and there's a few located along West 27th Street, that minimum lot depth should be at least 150 feet. And of course, we will review that when we get a preliminary plat in front of the commission. No direct driveway access to Union Road or West 27th Street because those are higher volume streets and we don't like to have a lot of driveways on those streets to prevent congestion. With regard to street connectivity, this is one of the most important features of the master plan, and the developer has done, staff feels, a pretty good job of showing a connected street pattern in the future neighborhood. Generally, the streets, the blocks are about 600 feet long generally. The streets are all stubbed to the property boundaries to allow for extension to adjoining properties in the future if those areas were ever to redevelop. It shows connections to the Lexington Heights neighborhood to the north, and a connection to the site of the future high school in the southeast corner of the site. That location, as you can see, there's a little street stub there leading to the high school site. This may, just to note, that may need to be adjusted either north or south to coincide with the site plan for the school district. They're still working out those details. So the master plan generally just shows that there will be a connection to the high school, but when we get the plat in and the site plan for the school district, we'll want to coordinate that location. The plan also shows here 10-foot trails that are planned along Union and West 27th Street, and it also shows in red on this a number of streets would have east-west connections that are 6-foot wide sidewalks to provide that good walking and biking routes throughout the neighborhood. I just wanted to note that there is an off-street trail designated that extends to the north that will eventually be connected up to Robinson Dresser Sports Complex. That trail should probably, because it's off-street, should probably be at least 8 feet wide. So we'll address that when we get to the subdivision plat. The city is conducting a traffic study, and the developer has shown placeholders for roundabouts along 27th Street in case the traffic study shows that those would be the best option for traffic circulation along 27th. This is just shows the topography of the site and the environmental features. We ran through that a little bit last time. Of course, the University branch of Dry Run Creek extends from the northwest corner to the south. Any floodplain regulations would apply to any lots in the future that will abut that stream corridor. There's a small area of this land that's north of the creek, and those will be deeded to property owners along Waterbury Drive at platting. And then that area will be preserved as conservation area in the future along the creek. There's 3 small non-jurisdictional isolated wetlands, and we'll want those to be addressed, how those will be managed and preserved at the time of final plat. It is the city's policy to preserve those even though they're non-jurisdictional. The northern portion of the property slopes and drains toward Dry Run Creek, and of course the southern portion, you can see that yellow line in the central part of the property. The land drains to that central drainage way that runs to the south. With regard to stormwater management, this is a large development, so it has 6 planned detention basins. The stormwater will be directed toward these basins and then drain toward the drainage way in the central part and toward Dry Run Creek. With regard to green space and parks, the master plan shows that central drainage way will be proposed as a greenway, and that will adjoin a 3-acre park. And the comprehensive plan does indicate a need for parkland to serve this neighborhood, and 3 acres is about the minimum size for a good neighborhood park to serve the neighborhood. This neighborhood will have approximately 500 homes, so a lot of people in the future will be able to enjoy that centrally located park. The proposed master plan also includes a phasing plan, development phasing plan. You can see here on the screen, it's color coded, and I'll go through how that will phase in the future on the next slide. What this does is ensure that the major east-west and north-south street connections develop first to provide that good traffic circulation over time. And just to note that those multiple routes will avoid overburdening any one street for a long period of time. As you know, this will take some time to develop, but so that's why we want to make sure we get those critical connections first. In the end, after this is all developed, I just want to note that there will be 3 good connections for all the local residents in Lexington Heights, Quail Ridge, and the West Fork subdivision to be able to access the new high school without having to travel all the way around to 12th Street, Union Road, or Hudson Road. So this will be a good connectivity for that major destination in the neighborhood. With regard to the phasing plan, here you see the areas numbered in the order they are intended to develop. Work area 1 is that critical connection from Waterbury Drive over to Union Road. That's made a little circuitous in order to sort of prevent speeding along that route. Work area 2 then is expanded from south from work area 1. And then work area 3, the developer intends to start in the southeast corner of the site because that's where the sewer connection will come from the south, and then develop north from there into area 4, which will provide that critical connection between the first 2 phases and West 27th Street and to the new high school. Work area number 5 provides that other north-south connection to West 27th Street. And then work areas 6 and 7 are the remainder of the subdivision. Staff recommends that there be at least 1 continuous street route from work area number 2 to West 27th Street within 1 year of the high school opening. The opening is anticipated in 2023, so that would be by 2024. So depending on the rate of development of the subdivision, it may mean that work area number 5 would have to develop first. So of course we'll cross that bridge when we come to it, but I just want to note that for the record. Staff also notes that the connection to Cross Creek Drive on the north to the Lexington Heights neighborhood provides another street connection to help distribute the traffic. That's also important. So staff does recommend a requirement that at phase 6 that develops from west to east. That would also make sense with the infrastructure extensions as well. So that shouldn't be a problem for the developer. One of the things we look at is consistency with the comprehensive plan. And as I noted last time, the proposed master plan does seem to be consistent with the green space and open space indicated on the future land use map, which is shown on your screen here in the green areas along Dry Run Creek and of course that central drainage way. Overall, the comp plan shows low to medium density development. Overall, there's a range of lot sizes, so it does have some low and some medium density lots. Overall, that achieves a density of approximately 4 dwelling units per acre, so that's in the low density range. Staff finds that this proposal is consistent as mixing housing lot sizes throughout a neighborhood is a good way to provide a lot of opportunities for people with varying incomes to live in the same neighborhood. With regard to rezoning, we also look to make sure that the area is ripe for development, meaning that it has access to public infrastructure to extend the public infrastructure. You can see here on the screen that the purple lines shown here are where the sewer connections are currently in the Lexington Heights neighborhood. That can be extended. That's and it also runs along the creek as well. So That can be extended over to serve the new development on the north end of the West Fork development. Water service is also available in this location. With regard to the southern portion of the site, here's an aerial photograph of that southern area of the site, and you can see those purple lines again are a little bit further away from where the development area is. So that will need to be extended to the north and to the west in order to serve the West Fork development. The high school also needs a sewer connection as well. So we have recommended that everyone coordinate on that. The sewer will be extended, and then in future, there would be a tapping fee for future development to tie into that new sewer extension. And the water surface is also available on West 27th Street in that blue line there, and that of course would be able to extend to the west to serve the new development. So in summary, and our staff recommendation, the requested upzoning of the property from R1 and A1 to RP planned residence district does cause a need for neighborhood infrastructure that ensures the health and welfare of future residents, which includes parks and trails, a well-connected network of streets, stormwater management facilities, sewer, water, and other utilities. Staff finds that the master plan submitted by the developer provides for all of these important elements and is designed to respond to the natural topography and is consistent with the comprehensive plan and future land use map. Provided that the conditions outlined in the staff report are met and is further refined through the commission's review tonight. Staff does recommend approval of the rezoning, subject to a zoning agreement that incorporates the conditions outlined in the staff report, which we will be preparing once this is recommended by the commission to be sent on to the city council. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have.
Any questions for Karen from commission? Okay, thank you, Karen. And at this time, I think we'll like to give the representatives for the developer a chance to speak. I think, Tim, you got your hand up. I think you're ready. We get you turned on here. Are you there, Tim?
I'm here.
Yeah, you want to give us your name and address for the record?
Sure. Tim Verhan, 4818 Briarwood Drive, Cedar Falls, Iowa, also ISG representative. I don't really have a lot to expand on from what Karen said. There was one thing in her presentation that I guess I did kind of want to discuss. I think it was specific to the development area 7 and developing from west to east. The utilities would want to go from east to west, just from low to high. So I guess that's the one comment that I would have, but other than that, again, available to answer any questions that you guys might have.
All right, thanks, Tim. Is there any questions for Tim, commissioners, or response? Yeah, so, and some of that detail then will really happen when we get into the plating, right? I mean, get much more specific. Nothing else?
Staff would be happy to work with the developer on that question.
Okay, great. Thank you, Karen. We have a couple other attendees on the line. Anybody would like to make a comment or ask a question, please indicate by raising your hand if you can. I'm not seeing any, but I'm going to ask anyways because I think you may want to. Andrew, did you want to make any comments on this item? Oops, try that again.
No, I don't need to make any comments.
Okay. Mike, did you want to make any comment or ask a question? Oops.
I don't have anything different than last time.
And I would think that some of your questions from before will be addressed in greater detail when those areas are actually platted, which will be another step along the way, assuming that that this moves forward. All right. So I'll bring it back to the commission, I guess, for any any comments or further discussion. Entertain a motion.
I would move to approve as presented.
Great. There's a motion to approve. Is there a second?
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there further discussion? Hearing none, we'll go ahead and vote. I'm going to ask Karen to take the roll call for our vote.
Atkins,
Aye.
Hartley,
Aye.
Holst,
Aye.
Larson,
Aye.
Lynch,
Aye.
Prideaux,
Aye.
Saul.
Aye.
All right. So that motion carries. Next steps on that, anything, Karen, we need to know about?
This will be forwarded to the city council. Of course, there's a, city council has to set a public hearing on this matter, and we will need to prepare a development agreement and working with the developer on that. So hopefully that will be moving forward fairly shortly to the council. And then the applicant has submitted an application for a subdivision plat for that first phase. So we should be seeing that shortly as well.
Okay, so the plat's coming pretty quickly after this then.
Yeah, I would anticipate that that would be moving forward fairly soon.
Okay, great, thank you. That ends our regular business for tonight. I know you want commission updates, Karen, about our upcoming meetings.
I know since we're having so much fun with these video conference meetings that you're looking forward to having a couple more. I do want to let you know that the June meetings will be by video conference, and then we'll reassess at that point and may get back to the council chambers after that, but that's yet to be determined. So we'll let you know.
Great.
All right.
All right, well, just as soon as we really get it broke in, then we can change it. All right. Hearing other business, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye. Aye.
We're adjourned. Thank you, everybody, for your participation tonight.